Hello everybody, my name is ANDAY and welcome to another video. This is LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2 Episode 4 Inside the Maze. Last episode we had pretty much like a dinner introductory episode, like giving us more looks into who's in the arena, who is, partaking in the tournament of sources. We saw some familiar faces, which is good. We never really see, the ninja actively seek out other people, and by that I mean like, there are some characters from the past that if they returned, usually the ninja just gloss over like, hey, how's it going? But no, this one is they make a little bit of a deal out of it, but which is nice, of course. With that scene with Nia recognizing Tox and Pale Man, that was great. That was really great. Uh, Other nice moments there, like that fight scene with the robot was really good. We still don't know what was up with that because I mean, from the looks of it, it was able to copy the element of Beatrix or sorry Zetrix with her shockwave, and we initially thought uh it was able to copy smoke too, but that was just smoke bomb. That was a little misleading unless you're a Ninjago professional like me who went by frame because I'm able to do that now. Anyways, yeah, then unfortunately, Xantans got blamed for the crime and was sent away before we could really see what he could do. But I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't want to see any harm come to him. So it worked out in a way, and he was nice about it too. Like for real, he was like accepting of it and decided to go on his own, it's very in character, and he was nice about it too. And we saw Jay, like he was actually there, but we don't know what's up with that yet. We don't really we don't get an answer. So, anyways, this is the next episode, Inside the Maze. I assume for this in the source games, or at least it's a little different from than say, hey, look, we're both gonna be fighting in this arena. No, there's gonna be a little few of the games in it, which that does make it more interesting. I will say, even though before in Tournament Islands, it was pretty random that there was just a random like skating thing, or what do you call it, like a roller derby. It was a little bit of a random thing, but I'm sure here it'll work. I think, I don't know, but depending how trendy Roby has been, I'm not sure. I keep calling him Rody from freaking the the third Maha movie, World Heroes Mission, because Roby, same thing. Probably also Rody from uh War Machine Marvel, but it's fine. It's fine. I just need to get my names checked. Anyways, uh, yeah, this is gonna be me reacting to this. Please, as I've said before, go watch these on Netflix or any other service or channel that you may have that can support this show directly. It means a lot, like for real, because we've had this show going on so long, and if there isn't even a hint of people being assumed not watching, they're gonna shut it down, which is crazy because it's been like active for like what 13, 12 years now. We don't want that to change. We don't want any of that to change. So yeah, please go watch that and then come back and watch me talk about this. So yeah, I'm here now. I have my sig fig here in my hand, and we're ready to watch this. Okay, so this is Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Episode 14, or I guess Episode 14 and 4 of Part 2. So it makes sense. It makes sense. Anyways, let's get into it. This is Lego Ninjago. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like what you're watching, and yeah, let's get into it. Let's hope the volume is good. Let's see. Bam. Shout out to Wild Brain. Ooh. Okay, so so much happened. Like so much was going on, and also so much like was shown to us. Like I don't even know how to process it. Okay. For what seems to be like, uh, maybe the connect. That was a really good detail that they picked up on the Ryu scales uh, that fell off because of that fell off. That was even shown to me in that flashback, brief flashback. Seems to have a physical connection to someone, and it's very specific to that one little area. It seems so that may be also how whoever that what did the Forbidden Five have, is also connected to Jordana and is able to communicate. Well, not communicate even, but just possess Jordana. So that's interesting. We again don't really know much about that, but we do know it seems to be like location based. It seems, or at least from whatever I guess it would make sense too. Well, I mean, do we know for sure if Nether Space was created specifically by that spell? You know did Bonzel, when she was first made, was she made to be a banishment to a realm that was newly created? You know what I mean? But as far as I can remember, I don't think that was ever specified. You know what I'm saying? So like, either Nether Space already existed, or it was some sort of creation made by the spell. So like, I imagine whoever made the spell, or we know who made the spell. What I'm talking about. However, it was arranged, like with Gandariana. What was her name? Gondolaria. Positive. Between her and the two dragons, uh, whatever was arranged there, would they have made it so like they can communicate? Someone could communicate. Well, some of them from Min 5 would communicate with Earth people, but I assume not, right? Because they were so confident. Anyone, so confident, anyone not wanting to reach them or hear what their tales were, so to avoid being uh not resurrected, but like brought out of free the five, pretty much. So like, yeah, that's interesting. Even like from what seems to be the case with what's going on there. So yeah, like either it seems to be like that's the case. Nether Space was already created. It was just sort of a pocket dimension, I would guess, because they don't really say dimensions here. They say realms. So I think a pocket dimension would make more sense. Well, we don't even know how big that dimension is. Like, it could be its own realm, its own, like a literal nether from Minecraft, where it's its own like kind of box space, and box space. It's just as infinite as Minecraft's overworld. What am I saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has a roof, it has a bottom. Is that what Nether Space would be? Is what I'm saying, pretty much. So like, you know, it seems to be the case of the spell was created to banish them to it, not so much you know, created for it. But also, like, how did they know that the Blood Moon would be able to free them? You know? And I'm sure it was probably, do you think it was performed once before, like that spell? Maybe sending them through another space was done before, but we don't even know how, because I mean, judging from the timeline, thousands of years could be anything. We don't even know like how long ago certain things were. Like, we don't know how many thousands and thousands of years. It's all been very vague. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be millennia. Would it be millennia? Is that the proper wording for thousands of years? Hold on. Let me do some quick googling. Millennia Falcon definition. A period of 1,000 years, especially when calculated from the traditional date of the birth of Christ. Okay, so in this case, it would be thousands of years after the the date of the birth of the FSM, who again is well, it is specified is a child from Oni and Dragon. So it would seem to be the case here. Like, again, there's still so much of Nether Space we don't even know. Like, we just barely learned its name in the, like, I think it was episode 28 of last season. 28, what am I saying? Episode, like, 8 of last season. Or not even last season. Episode 8 of this season. Part 1 is what I'm saying. Anyways, let's get into the breakdown. Here we go. So we have this little moment here where it's about dance, something to do with, which they had the ninja were here all performing. That's not the right emote I was going for. outperforming. And yeah, it is kind of nice seeing them all together. And the core suits really just show that these are what they went after. At least before the merge, this is the suits that they wore with after Crystallize. Which I really like these suits, and I'm glad they reuse pretty much for flashbacks, because get some credibility out of them. Because I mean, let's be honest, the core suits were kind of part of a non-canon thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not canon for it was made specifically for like sets and also like figures. And to be honest, I was kind of for it, even though the snake enemies were a little vague. Say, but I didn't mind it. I wanted more variations of the villains, to be honest, and we did get that. We got it with the next core wave. It was the bone enemies, which are great, and they appear last season. And also the snakes of that core sets appear here with Frack, who we would assume is a Geo Whipper. And yeah, they all look great here in their suits. Zay with his core out like that. And yeah, it's so nice seeing them here together. And with Jay, and this kind of just feels like a very old classic season 1 thing with Wu being today we must learn how to dance, and then they dance, which it's something goofy old Wu would say in the early seasons, which is based. And yeah, this is true. They had a whole thing about him running away from his dancing school that Cole was put through. And yeah, I like how this is in that he's still having fun teaching them the new things. It's great. It's very great. And yeah, even if it says 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, they should probably. But I like this. I love this moment so much where the two immediately connect here. And of course, Jay is the first one to say it. Man, it's so sweet. And it's so heartbreaking that it happens later on in this episode. Just look at him. They're so happy. Yeah, and when Nia's hand is down like that, it's a little odd. But yeah, this moment here is really sweet. And also, establishes who they were as characters before all that happened. Oof, and this line hits so hard. Like, bro, saying this in the same episode which something goes down, that is crazy, man. And then a smash cut to new Nia, pretty much. And yeah, this was something that happened here where she thought she saw Jay, but at least it does establish that she did try to go after him. And yeah, maybe she didn't see her face, and I don't remember. But that does seem to be the case. So yeah, also the lanterns here, they're not lit usually by electricity, but I guess whatever, modernize. And the sky looks so good right there. Look at that. Got big stars, little stars. It's great. Great detail. And yeah, I want to know what this guy is a Elemental Master of, because we see him later. And yeah, good look at Lloyd in his sensei uniform. I love it so much. It's so good. I hope we see it again. And yeah, wait, when did he see him? Was it after here? Okay, yeah, so we see this guy's again. Bro looks confusing. Bro has eyebrows. It was right here, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, like my thought was all these people were elemental masters, but it seems to be some of them at least are wait, who's that guy? This guy. Is he another guard? He looks kind of like a mix of. Am I crazy? I don't see gold in there. I see like black and Bit of purple right there. Is that like one of those bots moving in the background? That'd be crazy. But yeah, she goes for who he thinks is Jay, but no, but it's a Muntz who has Jay hair, which I assume we do see later on. There are spectators, so it seems like my thought was whoever was wearing this was in the games, but it seems to not be the case, which I don't blame them for having that just be for everyone who wears it. But yeah, yeah, it is kind of good that they do establish, that Jay may be around and getting Nia in the mind space of okay, Jay is still out there. We don't know what's going on with him, or what could ever be happening in the world. Jay's missing starts emerge, and then we all do. This was nice. And a very nice Lloyd and Nia moments here, which these two have such a sibling connection. And it has been crazy because at least recently we've just had Nia consoling Lloyd. Now it's the opposite with this situation because man, it's so great and so sad too. Like you never expect this to happen. And yeah, who are you? Yeah, so he doesn't have a cool body, but he doesn't have any belts. So, like, it just makes sense because we saw Bro get burned by salt because he's a snail person. But does that mean uh he's made like a cartilage or something? Because he has to have some way of supporting himself. Or is he all squishy? I don't even know this. Because no. We did see people which would go into their shells, so maybe he is all squishy. I like how he says his name rhymes with paws. And he's talking about Roz. That's funny because, I mean, he does have paws. He's a tiger man. Poor Ray back there. He's sleepy. Yeah, and I like how he's. We get a neat little flashback soon coming up with talking about his love of mysteries or wanting to solve mysteries. And I like how I literally forgot this, but Sora has her own thing going on with Jordana because at least she's already trying to pay attention to her. Before she couldn't because she was so like dismissive of everything Imperium that she didn't want to remember whoever she was. And like how we cut this little flashback between mystery books, which is nice. Good to see something that comes up from their past. And this book here, it seems to be a different book than the one she had in Ninjago text. But that's a cool fade too, like from there to here. That was nice. But yeah, the bot's steps. But it does lead to, wow, you're sniffing out. And he does a neat little like Shaggy point or Scooby point. There. It's great. We love him. We love you for it. Yeah, I love Ray's new. I love Teen Ray. He's so great. Look at him. He's a big adorable man. He's literally a man. He's a teen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have introduced to uh whoever this symbol is associated with. We don't even know. Okay, that's thing on a wall. That's other thing. So what reason would someone scratch a symbol into a wall? I assume. Okay, but it does look. It looks very dragon-esque. Look at the nose here. This there. This there. This there. Circle. This and there. Do you think this could be related to Raz in that there after he is after servicing the source dragon of strength or the motion or whatever current theory is going on. But yeah, like this is interesting. And again, who would scratch it on the wall and why? But it is good of Aaron to write this down. Because we haven't even gotten a clear answer between is this related or not to Raw specifically, but it is neat that we do see Frack show up here because he either might be or might not be associated with that because we still don't even know. And I like Frack. I like how he's a Geo Whipper here, and his element's pretty cool. What was it Elemental Master of Quake? That's really neat. Yeah, it's training him hard. He has to go, which that does make sense. Raz is the only one who's in the business type, uh, wanting to have the people be at the peak of their elemental powers and such. And yeah, I like this pie looks so good. Tell me you wouldn't try this. I mean, the blue is kind of off-putting because you don't really have anything blue in nature. It's only ever been like, well, blueberries are purple, mint is green, and it'd have to be something like slushy blue, 7-Eleven, and water is clear. Like, who would you get a slushy pie? You want a slushy pie? This is what slushy pie looks like. Yeah, that's a big bite if it's able to. Oh, that's cool too. They animated going into his mouth. Actually, that's some good detail. Well, they animated a little bit of it in his mouth, and then just gone. But points for showing that off because obviously his facial expressions and all that are 2D. When food is obviously 3D. Also, wait, bro just yoinked that piece from there. But bro doesn't seem mad about that. He's just like happy to see people wanting his pies. Maybe they're complimentary to the people who compete here. Also, I like how Ryu's finishes his thing and just tosses it back at the bro. That was great. He knows the importance of not littering, and you should too. Don't litter. Pick up your stuff. Yeah, he definitely is not the aggressive type. But it seems here, Ryu gets a whiff of something. I assumed was the pie, but it gives him this look here. I think it's a suspicious look. Well, after he's done sniffing, I guess. Okay, yeah. He growls. And, well, I just noticed he has, like, teeth that go all the way here, too. That's cool. I assume this is kind of his teeth. Because I guess I'm right there also, but also, like, has back teeth. That's really neat. But yeah, bro's up to... And does he look back at him? Is that him looking back at him, or just looking at Aaron? It is interesting. Yeah, he still gives... He's the side-eyeing Frack, which we see is for a reason, pretty much. And yeah, we have Wildfire here looking for Roby, which honestly, yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see a difference in Wildfire. Pretty much, not really distracting her from what's going on with Kai, but also like, not making her feel pretty much, sad. Just giving her something to do with focusing on something else, which is Roby. And it is nice to see. It is kind of nice to see her having things for somebody else, which makes sense. There's not many other people around, not that we know of, around his age. And that's an interesting looking phone. He has a gear on top of it. Whoever these people are, they're great. And like how she almost fall, but Roby helps her up. I think it was right here. Yeah, this is kind of nice. Honestly, I kind of see it. They both have different but interesting like personalities that I feel like it would work. Yeah, she's raised by dragons and she's not a dragon, but we don't even know that if she's human because she fell from like a spaceship that landed in the wildness. We don't even know. And yeah, her having a crush on someone is the most normal thing she's seen her do, which that is true because like girls raised by dragons, but also like does a regular thing. But that's funny. That's neat. But yeah, Ryu still has the sense of suspect. Yeah, but it is nice to see. Not only did he come uh assumingly for the fun of the tournament, but also knowing Cole would be there, which is great. And of course, the hug. Very sweet, very sweet. They're definitely a thing. Yeah, they go and run off together, which is nice. Little little date show in the city. And we see this part of the arena, which they have a mural here too, or I think it's something like some artwork. And here is the set. It looks a little. I can't tell if it's smaller or accurate scaled to the set. Cause we don't even know how big. Why did Darwin know? I don't have the set IRL, which I low key wish I do. But yeah, this mech apparently belonged to a previous master of Earth. And I mean, we don't even know how many how many percents how many how many times elements have gone down the generations, right? Like we don't even know if it's been that long since past tense. Like it's been that long since the FSM rather created Ninjago or even the other realms. So if this one belonged to his mom, that kind of makes sense because she was an extreme explorer or adventurer rather, because she took on the Master of the Mountain. She took out Griefbringer. She was doing her thing, and this mech is crazy cool. Big legs, and his wings too, and a giant rock sword, which the rock sword looks cool. I love it. But yeah, this seems to be like it doesn't it hits a good balance of newish looking, but also like old, but not too old, if that makes sense. With obvious being the rock sword here, which looks really good. And yeah, here we have Jordana doing her thing with uh Sora following, and she's so cat coded. And yeah, we see this person here, which she seems to be blind because she has a walking stick. That's neat. Well, I mean, need to see some representation. Why did I say it like that? Representation. And yeah, we have this little moment here between Jordana and Sora, which again, she is finally giving her some attention here, but it seems like she's not even here at this point because she's controlled by one of the five. Seems to be. And yeah, I like how we see Noct just chilling over here because of course he's not gonna go and interact with others. He's gonna pretty much stay and do his own thing. And he does seem to have a unique connection to the whoever is in her because it makes sense. And from what we see, whoever's connecting or whoever's possessing her is a girl. So, I mean, it would make sense. Hey man, I love his design. He's so cool. I must show his figure soon. And he's like claw feet, I think, or whatever the printing is representing. And yeah, is his thing different? I thought it was dark brown, but now it's black or gray even. Yeah. Huh. It is different. He says, "I don't know, but we must be careful." And as she says that, like, Sora's here eavesdropping. Hmm. What did you cross out there, bro? But yeah, that's a good drawing of Motion Dragon. And actually, wait, hold on. Did he draw these shurikens here because of the shurikens that bot used? That'd be a good way to keep track of the type of weapons the bot had. That would. But yeah, it seems to be he's in league with them, which I guess it makes sense. With him talking about how hard his master is making him train, all that, it would make sense for him to be Raz. And like, yeah, we're immediately seeing that Raz's crew pretty much isn't limited to uh these the four or the three even, but he has Frack here, and then we later see Jay. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, and Sora does bring this up. He didn't anyone lie to her, him, which it makes sense. And we see Lloyd in his tournament guard, which I guess it makes sense. You don't want to get your sensei ropes dirty, and it makes sense for him to go to like, role of ninja during the tournaments or the games rather. Like, it just makes sense, I guess. And yeah, this is kind of neat where she has her little, like, would it be a mural? I think. No, it's a. I don't know. I don't know what you'd call for it. Like a thing of remembering. And I like this. This one has candles for Kai. This one has uh bowls of fruit, which these are good apples, and those grapes. They're huge. That's how you know they're juicy. But yeah, we cut to Kai and the Bonzo here. But yeah, we see one of the names, Zart. That's a name, which I assume, if these captions are accurate, would be descripting on whoever is here. But yeah, I thought it was this person talking to someone, but it seems to be just these two, one of these three here, and then this person, who seems to be the one controlling Jordana. But yeah, like, this seems to be like they don't even know. They don't even seem to be knowing that these two are even here. And yeah, these are crazy. These two really do have the same hat. That's just straight up wearing a basket. And this one has woo woo coated. But man, they really don't want us to see what their designs are. They just have them as gray figures. Which I want to know. I want to know what they look like. And yeah, Kai does bring up, one of the 5 minute out here. But we've only ever seen 3, but that one's there right there. And yeah, we'll learn later that one is not sleeping. They're controlling Jordana. The sooner our brutal dominance can continue, which that does sound brutal. And man. Okay, we see this guy, and he straight up, he grows. So is that like his element? Is he the elemental master of, like, size or whatever? Here we see this guy doing some crazy moves. And he's doing pretty good at it. So what's his element? Is he the elemental master of skill? And we see this girl, who is a month and has an elemental master of the most powerful thing I've ever seen. Bubbles! Apparently that's her name. Or I guess not. But I mean, depending on how bubbles are used, they could be very effective. You get some in your eye, they could hold objects, they could pull objects out of your hand. And if she controls, like, where they move and such, it'd be very effective. Then there's this guy here, who I assume, would this be the elemental master of sound? Or, like, screech or whatever? Because it has, like, some sort of... It has an effect on the bubbles, so... Would it be, like, screech? Would it be sound? Would it be echolocation? What would it be? I do wonder. Yeah, the honor of the elements of battle. He says you're not hot. And then Wildflower shows up. She's great. And yeah, another moment between him and her and Cinder, which is like, I think feel like she can only take it so long before she actually like immediately tries to fight him, which seems to be the case. And yeah, they're not there to win; they're there to defeat, um, find out whoever's doing the thing, and also winning would be good for them, but it's not their main thing. And they do bring up some sort of like moral thing here why they don't want to use Rise Dragon, because it's technically an OP thing, but they're considering not using it in the fairness of the tournament, and also because apparently they say it comes with Spinjitzu, and they didn't even use Spinjitzu in this fight, like, and that makes sense, like used to defend oneself. Plus, the honor of a ninja is what they say here, so it is kind of neat that they do like elaborate that if they pull something, we pull something, but for now, for everyone else rather, because they don't know what we know, we're gonna fight honorably and only use our elements, which that makes sense for them, really. Like, I can't even remember if they used Spinjitzu and such in Tournament of Elements. And, you would assume they would do that because, they're technically part of a super important mission, but also, you want to be fair in the games. And, starting events with, and yeah, it does seem either, well, Geo did get an invite, but he's just chilling back there, so would he not be participating? Because, I mean, we don't even know, like, the full, and wow, I just noticed this. Wait, there's 3 of this guy, and 4 of her. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's like a popular hairstyle or something. But these guys, what if his power is duplication? We don't know. I don't know. And we see this. We see a statue again. Would this be of Wu? Because Wu was hanging out near that waterfall. And would they know? Would they know of him, or is this of the SFM? The SFM, the FSM, not Source Filmmaker, but First Elemental Master, First Ninjutsu Master. What am I saying? Thrice is nice. Somebody said, and I like this little thing here that they show, of it shows their profile and also their elements, which is right there, which is neat. It looks very nice. Master of Reflex Zur. And it looks really cool. He's what was their name that they say again? Devian is what they named him, or something like that. Devonian? Something. Bro looks demonic, I would say, but he has a good design, so I vibe. And that seems to be reflex element. Yeah, and it does seem he has a really neat element. Because it makes sense for him to be, not only is he seeming to be like a dangerous creature, but also he is the master of reflex, which that is kind of like a Deathstroke, Taskmaster-esque power set. Being able to reflex very quickly. They do show that it is different from speed. Because, he's not like running fast all that, and speed isn't technically an element, but who cares? And yeah, bro's still zooming back there, which he is cool, I would say that. And yeah, we see a great fight here. Him using his awesome like ice elements. And they do bring a good point here, like right here. I assumed it was him heating up by using his reflexing. But they do point out how that is probably not the case, because as much as it looks like it here, it does kind of melt very quickly. And then he uses his heat, or his reflex. Okay, so that makes sense. They did point that out, but I assumed it was to do with his reflex power for some reason. But yeah, that is crazy good hit. And then he gets shot out, which it is kind of Maha rules, where in that one tournament where if you get either knocked out or punched out of the arena, Zur wins. Or not Zur, but like whoever is inside the arena wins. Which it is kind of sad seeing Zay get lose so easily, because he has like a lot on his table pretty much. But I guess in the fairness of this ring, him being hit out of it would work, And then we just see here how the cup works. He holds it up here, it goes zoop, and then into Zer. And yeah, poor Zane. Yeah, it does glow a lot of colors before zipping. And yeah, I like how they have this little profile here, but also they add the elements so they could make sure people keep track of it. And yeah, that's nice. That's cool. And yeah, they point out here naturally quickly, looks quickly. So like, what does that mean? Is there a heating pad or something? And yeah, it makes sense for them to reconsider right after, but also, you know, you in this tournament you're gonna have to be noble because it's like an honor thing. You don't want people to, you know, assume you're not honorable. Like from who we see, yeah, and we do see we see him right here. He's right there. Ugh. And then he turns around and it's Jay, and he looks crazy cool in his. What we've seen in his I assume his mask. His mask was in there, and he was just pulling it out. But yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, and even then, they all seem uneasy about this because, like, that's crazy to see a friend they've known for so long be at the face of an enemy, like just coming back and being at the side of an enemy, and this is crazy. And even crazier is his lightning powers. It seems he uses both yellow and blue, which looks sick, but not sick because he's on the enemy side right now. Yeah. I like how his immediate assumption is a fake Jay, because, I mean, to be fair, they've met with very fake Jays along the way. There was the first one in when Garmadon made that one evil copy, and then another one in Prime Empire with a bunch of other people who had J avatars. But yeah, it's nice to see. Yeah, he planned this. He knew the ninja would never see this coming. Which, do you think he actively sought them out or something? But yeah, here we have a tower battle where they have to reach this blade, which it is kind of references to the first tournaments where they had to reach for a blade. And yeah, he of course Nia wouldn't want to fight him because I don't blame her at all for this. And bro looks really cool in his full suit. And I wish they gave him the eyes, you know, the eyes that the thing's coming, but him just wearing that is intimidating enough. And yeah, I totally get Nia here hesitating. So he says here his master Roz. Tries mind games, which that is fair enough, you know. Say for him to like actively say this to make sure whatever she tries to say won't break him, break to him. And yeah, she tries a reason for him, like, but apparently Roz told him something, which is this is interesting because I mean, as far as I can remember, we never seen Roz technically lie. Says that he was once a great warrior, fighting alongside Master in the wildness. Okay, but like, who would have been? He didn't mention. He didn't reference to Roz here. He says a master or a master, not Master Roz, but fighting by my master. So like, does this mean he was with someone else in the wildness? Because if no, that is then when the merge happened, he lost his memory. But he didn't specify it saying that was before. And oh, he's saying this is the love of her life. This is as if that is horrible. Because we've known these two for so long as being a couple. Okay, yeah, he was once a great warrior. He didn't say it was before the merge, so that is interesting. Okay, when the merge happened, he lost the memory. But yeah, he didn't say it like past tense, you know? Like that was happening before the merge. He's just saying when the merge happened, he lost the memory. So, I mean, that is true. Ended up in some place called administration. So like it is still setting up some gaps between what was going on and what's happening now. And yeah, I like how Aaron puts it together. Agent Walker as Jay. But yeah, he escaped from there. So like, do you think the administration is gonna come after Jay now? Yeah, Lord Roz found and rescued him. But he says he escaped and then Lord Roz found him. So that does show. So I wonder where he went before that. And yeah, we see him put on a mask. And it even goes far as to go into this thing. So it did shatter his soul. So like, how do you reverse this? Because like this is already like too much of a thing, you know? Like both he has no memory, and now seems to be the case of okay, his soul has been shattered, and like that's insane. Like wow, and oof, that is crazy. Honestly, I'm not saying I expected Nia to not win here, but like it is crazy how she has to go through all of this against the person she's known for so long, like all the way since the pilots. But yeah, eventually she locks in and puts her face mask off, which is great. There goes Rising Dragon. And we see her eyes glow blue during this, which is really cool. Really neat. Yeah, it gets him. And he does fall. He doesn't fall out of the arena, but he does get pretty close. Then she goes for the blade, which yeah, what else can you do really? Yeah, and we have this really cool scene where the camera moves alongside the thing while they're running. It's epic. So very epic. And she makes it. And yeah, it does kind of suck how their first quote unquote win is still a loss because of Jay. Yeah, and I like how Nia immediately just doesn't want to show it off, but has to. You know, she seems so sad because of it. And yeah, like that's just crazy, man. And does not tell her fate. What does this mean? Is Jay gonna leave or what? And also, how does this work with the Shadow Spin? Is he not able to use it anymore because his element was taken? And yeah, it is crazy how they did win and they are active like they're doing a good thing, but this isn't good. This situation. Yeah, and he says the line. He loves her. She loves her. She loves him, and she will always love him. And then he straight up just says, like the worst thing that could ever happen. And I will always hate you. And his eyes do glow here, which is very effective in what he's saying, but also doesn't mean he still has shatters. His soul is still shattered. Hate you, like man, this really hits. Like this actually literally got me, cause bro, we've known them for so long as either being interested in each other, also eventually just being close together. And yeah, like poor Nia, man, losing her brother and then losing Jay right here to the enemy. Like God, that is horrible. And yeah, we see Kai and Bonzo here checking out this one person. But yeah, they do say it's a she, so and like we already see the scales on his and they glow while he's here. So, but yeah, we come back to it, and I thought the scales were just parts of his like horn thing. But no, even then, that was just scales. But which we did see last season. Like, this isn't even a cheat or anything. They planned this far ahead. Just sucked me from getting the portal. But yeah, this means he has a physical connection to Ryu. And it does seem to be the case after they're celebrating here. Ryu's hearing things, which it does kind of suck how they're communicating only with the person who can't communicate with others. But it is kind of sweet how, Ryu can help. But also, it does make sense for the narrative for it to be someone who can't communicate directly. So, like, this is nice. Then he says, Rah! And it is kind of sweet how he gets the last spark of hope in this episode, because everything has been so dreary. So, yeah, wow. This was a great episode. Not really so much in terms of, like, fighting. Well, I mean, the fighting, it's still been pretty good. But also, like, the narrative and the emotions and all that. It was really good. Another good episode. Okay, so, yeah. This has been Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Part 2, Episode 4, Inside the Maze, which it didn't really have much of a maze as I thought it would. I thought the maze would be part of the games. But, anyways, yeah, this has been my reaction. Please go watch this on Netflix or anywhere else that is official, and I will do the same, of course. Then come back and watch me watch this. Anyways, yeah, this has been my reaction. Thank you all for watching. Please, what do you think about this episode? And also like, comment, subscribe. But comment what you thought of this episode. That'd be very appreciated. Anyways, yeah, my name is ANDAY. This has been my reaction. I've said that like 3 times now. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.